Hi everyone, David is here with you again. Thank you so much for coming. Are you eating less, training consistently, and the scale doesn't move? If you are on a beta blocker, there are three very specific reasons for that, and they have nothing to do with how hard you're trying. Beta blockers are prescribed for hypertension, migraines, anxiety, arrhythmias. Tens of millions of people take them daily. Propranolol, metoprolol, atenolol, bisoprolol, they all work by blocking beta-adrenergic receptors. Here is what most people don't know. Those same receptors are how your body burns fat. Block them and fat loss becomes physiologically uphill. First mechanism, lipolysis. When your body needs to burn fat, your adrenal glands release epinephrine and norepinephrine. These catecholamines bind to beta-2 receptors on fat cells and activate an enzyme called hormone-sensitive lipase, HSL. That enzyme breaks stored triglycerides into free fatty acids, which your muscles can actually burn. Beta blockers sit in front of that receptor and block the signal. Epinephrine is released, the message never arrives, the fat stays put. Studies show this reduces catecholamine driving fat mobilization by 30 to 50%. That's not a random error. Second mechanism, thermogenesis. You have brown adipose tissue, brown fat, whose entire job is to generate heat by burning calories. It does this through a protein called UCP1, uncoupling protein. That protein is activated by beta-3 receptors. Beta-3 is the thermogenic receptor. Block it and brown fat essentially goes quiet. Your resting metabolic rate drops. Research estimates between 8 and 12% in chronic users. That's 150 to 200 calories per day disappearing from your baseline every day without you noticing. Third mechanism, and this one is specific to non-selective beta blockers like propranolol. Propranolol inhibits an enzyme called 5-deiodinase. That enzyme converts T4 into T3, which is the active form that drives your metabolism. Block that conversion and your TSH can look completely normal on a blood test, but your cells are running on less active thyroid hormone. You're not hypothyroid on paper, but you're functionally slower. Selective beta blockers, metoprolol, atenolol, bisoprolol, don't do this to the same degree. If you are on propranolol and metabolically stuck, that's worth a conversation with your doctor. So what can you actually do? First, if you have any flexibility, with your doctor, ask about switching to a beta-1 selective agent. Bisoprolol, nebivolol, they spare beta-2 and beta-3 receptors more, meaning less impact on lipolysis and thermogenesis. Second, shift your training toward resistance work. Muscle tissue burns fat through pathways that don't depend exclusively on beta receptors. AMPK signaling during strength training is largely catecholamine independent. Third, don't do long, slow cardio expecting fat loss. Your heart rate selling is artificially suppressed. You'll hit fatigue before you hit intensity. Shorter, higher effort intervals work better in this context. And fourth, if you are not eating enough protein, you're making it worse. On a blunted metabolic rate, muscle preservation becomes the priority. Protein has the highest thermic effect of food and it protects lean mass when your thermogenesis is already compromised. If you are on beta blocker and hitting a wall, the problem isn't your willpower, the problem is working against pharmacology without knowing it. Now you know. Link in the description if you want to go deeper. See you next time.